Thank you for sticking with me. I'm so appreciate that. So we will try this again. Okay, so we're making chocolate chip cookies. And I did save some of the mise en place for you because I wanted to show you some of the things, the other tools that I do use. For instance, this bowl, if my camera person will back up a little bit, she's just doing her best to help me, is one of the Pampered Chef bowls. And I do not remember what it's called. There's 3 of them. But the idea behind me using this bowl with my brown sugar is that this goes in the freezer. Then I don't have to worry about my brown sugar becoming rock hard. There we go. Another reason I love Pampered Chef. Okay, so now that that's done, I'll just set that aside for the moment. In my 8-cup batter bowl, I have 1 cup or 2 sticks of butter, and we're going to cream that. And what I'm going to do today is called the creaming method. Come on, very nice. Want to get that nice and soft, and I forgot to grab, and I hit that button again. Stay right there. I'll be right back. I forgot to grab my spatula. Okay, so what I want in here next, the recipe calls for your flour. I'm just going to move this up here out of my way. 2 1/4 cups of flour. A teaspoon of baking soda and salt, all mixed together. So we'll put that in there. And I'm just gonna kind of give it a rough mix real quick. And that's all it needs for the moment. My mini whisk. I got that with the Help Whip Cancer campaign. Okay, so what I do want to put in here, part of the creaming method, I got ahead of myself, gee, go figure. In the sugar, in the butter, we want to add the sugar. Now, I find it personally just a little bit easier to start with the white sugar and then add the brown sugar, because it's in a clump. We get everything off at the bottom, and then we'll add the brown sugar. Here we go, in my prep bowl, into the batter bowl. And I'm just going to kind of break that up. Now, we'll start mixing. Now, as you can see, if you take a good look in here, I've got my butter up on the sides yet. It's not mixing in with my sugar, so I'm going to scrape that down into the bottom of the bowl and get this off of here. Set my spatula over there. That's a classic spreader, by the way. Better mixed. I want to get that off the speeders. There we go. Because now is the time that I add my flour, a little bit at a time. And there's a reason for that, because it needs to incorporate a little bit at a time. But you know what I think? Let me just double check. I think I need to add my eggs first. Because, you know, well, it's been a long time since I made chocolate chip cookies. Let's see. Until creamy. Yeah, I have to add my eggs one at a time. Now, the other part of the creaming method is the way that we add the eggs. So the recipe calls for 2 eggs. You want to make sure that they're at room temperature or 110 degrees. So if they're cold in the fridge, you can just put them in a pan of warm water, bring them up to temperature. Excuse me, rinse my fingers here. There we go. Get the salmonella off. And yes, you can add them one at a time, as it says, but because we're incorporating air in the creaming method, I want to whisk these really, really good and add air to my mixture. And just again, reminder, I'm not a chef, I am a home cook, but I do follow a chef online, and that's kind of where I learned this piece from. So we'll add a little bit of the egg. There we go. So we add one at a time. We'll mix that in. Okay, that looks like it's pretty well incorporated, and we'll get the other egg in. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I like superhero noises. It makes me feel powerful in the kitchen. So, get this mixed up. Turn my batter bowl so I'm sure to get around in the corners. Of course, it's a round bowl, so there's really no quote-unquote corners. But now we're back to, I still have batter up here on the sides of my bowl. I want to bring that down. Push that down so we're not missing anything, because now it's time to add the flour. Get that off my scraper. I love my scrapers. Top shelf, dishwasher safe. It's one of the things I love about a lot of my Pampered Chef products. Most of them can go in the dishwasher. A lot of them that don't, like the stones, they clean up so easy. All right, so we'll add some of the flour. And remember, we want to start on a low speed so that we don't have a poof of flour and make a cloud. Get in there, we'll add some more flour. And you know what, I can't do it that way. I tried. We'll get, there we go, some more of that flour in. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we're coming up the bowl again. I'm going to scrape it down. And there's nothing wrong with scraping your bowl down a couple times while you're in the mixing process, because that does help you make sure that it's being mixed properly. There we go. Set that there, add some more flour. Yeah, I just stuck that in the dough. And I'll mix again. I'm just going to add some more. We're almost done. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and dump the rest of that in, because after that we have two more additions. All right, so there we go. Okay, now what I'm going to do is scrape this down again, because I still have not added my vanilla extract. And while if you're following the recipe And honest to Pete, I get mine from Nestle. It's the cookie bag. It's the recipe on the cookie bag. But it does tell you to add the vanilla a little bit earlier. But vanilla has acid in it, and that will act with the baking soda that we've got in there. So it calls for, whoops, that one's not open yet. I wasn't sure I have enough, so I brought my extra. Okay. And my measuring spoons. I love these guys because they stay together. All right, so we spilled over a little bit, but that's okay because that's what would have topped off my cup. All right, so we'll put that in the sink. Give this another whiz. Now, I want to get as much of this batter off of the blades as I can. And of course, I'm throwing it everywhere. It's the fun of baking, isn't it? Oh, yeah, all over my hand. All right, let me come over to the sink. Get this off. Because what I now need to do is add my chocolate chips. Oh, I love the chocolate chips. Pampered Chef scissors. I swear I need like 3 pairs of these. I love them. I've had these forever. As with pretty much all of my Pampered Chef. Because as I pointed out before, I started this, back in 2002. This stuff lasts a long, long time. Now, we're not going to mix that. We're going to fold it. I'm just going to push that up here out of our way with my scraper. As we fold, we're going to take from the middle and come up to the outsides and fold it into the middle again. And just make sure we get everybody in the mix. Now at this point, you can add nuts if you prefer. I'm kind of a purist myself. I'm not one for nuts in pretty much any kind of food that I eat. It's just me, so we're not adding those today. But there's nothing wrong with adding them for yourself. Don't get me wrong. That's my personal preference. But that's one of those things. You can add whatever you want to your batter at this point and make it yours. That's the fun of making your own homemade goodies. Okay, now what I'm going to do is grab my scoop, and this is the medium scoop. And I will say that because it has the lever in it that moves around, making sure that gets clean can be cumbersome sometimes. So I have always in my kitchen, this is a denture brush. I find it at the store. They're like $4 or under. That way I can be sure to get in the grooves of everything. But again, we're going to make sure that our cookies are all portioned the same so that they cook the same. And I'll drop them right onto my small round stone. You can use the large round stone. I happen to have this one out from earlier today. You can use the bar pan, the small bar pan. I mean, honestly, because the cleanup on the bar pans is amazingly quick. Okay, so we're just going to make a couple of those. Now, the other idea, as I put these in the oven, the other idea in portioning them out is you don't have to cook them all today. Portion them out, put them on a pan and put them in the freezer. So then later on, you just go grab a portion and pop them in the oven and make cookies. And you're done. Okay, so yes, that's going to take about 12 minutes to cook, and we'll set that timer because you don't want it to burn. Actually, we'll put it at 10 minutes. Now, I thought ahead today because yes, many times this is where I tell you I'm not going to make you wait the 10, 20 minutes that it takes for everything to cook. I baked some already. I got ahead of you. So on my platter, I have chocolate chip cookies. These are larger. I made these with the large scoop because we like big cookies in this house. But what you want to do when the timer goes off on your stove, whatever, when the timer goes off and you take your cookies out, because they're on the stone, you want to let them sit for about 2 minutes to kind of firm up because they're still very, very soft and there's a little bit of carryover cooking. So you don't want to put it in the oven at the max time that they suggest because, again, it's carryover cooking. So you don't want them to overcook. Then put them on the cooling rack. I use these for multiple things around the house. Especially especially the holidays, I guess I would say, but if I'm going somewhere and I need to take a large number of items and I want to make sure something doesn't get squished, I use that, even whether it's baked goods or cooked goods or not. Just anything I've got in the car. So, it doesn't have to be used just in the kitchen. It's all about what works best for you in your world today. So with that being said, I want to thank you again for stopping in to Sizzling with Sherry. And I want you to stay home, stay healthy, stay safe, and enjoy some treats. Until next time, thank you.